Welcome to the first episode of my very first podcast. I'm Fajo and this is Karaoke Talks. Karaoke is a Georgian way of saying persimmon, which is my favorite fruit, and that's how the nickname comes. When I was thinking about making podcast, I was thinking that it might be easy because I was thinking, all you gotta do is sit and talk, which I really do. I really sit and talk because I like it, but it's getting more and more awkward and strange as time goes, because now at this point I don't even have a company. I just have myself and a microphone that I'm having in my hands to have a voice and nothing else. And as I was thinking about the next episodes, I came with an idea to have at least a mirror or something in the next episodes, just to look at myself for the company or something. We'll see about that. I decided that the episodes and themes of my podcast will be based on my experiences, my thoughts, and my point of views about some sort of things. So that's what you all gonna listen to when you listen to my podcast. For the first episode, I decided to choose to talk to you about something so mainstream, something that is happening right now in my life, and just because I know that you really like some spicy things and some sort of dramas, I think I've got you covered. Let's listen to a small intro and we are coming back. So we are here again, and as you might have understood already, this episode will be a story time about home changing, about changing a place that I used to live for 6 years, from the time that I came to Greece to live and stayed for that long. I've never changed the place, and I was living in one urban, not so close to the city center, with my family. But after this Christmas, my sister decided to kick us out. My grandma was visiting us and we were just sitting there in the living room and we were chit-chatting and remembering some old stuff, and we were having fun of remembering all of it when my sister came from her room and said to my mother that she had to leave the house because she was going to empty the house to live somewhere else until she finds some house or something to live. She was going to stay in her friend's house. At least that's what she told us as a reason. And she started to complain about the taxes and about everything that she had to pay. That made me curious, because everything that she was mentioning, I had already paid all that, meaning taxes and meaning even a rent, which obviously my grandma was paying, but I thought that it was just a made-up reason, because she was so tired of having us in her house. Maybe she wanted some changes in her life and she decided to kick us out in this way in the days of New Year, which really made us, or at least made me, devastated, because we said that, as I said, I was going to talk based on my experiences and my thoughts, so I'm gonna talk about myself. I was so devastated with that idea. I'm not going to deep down to the details of this like fight my mother and my sister had, but it was huge. It was really serious thing. So my mother came to my room and she was like, we have to leave the house. There is no other choice. She is not giving another choice to us. We have to leave. And we left like that. Me, my mother, and my cat Holly, we left the house. And that's how the story of being homeless starts. And that's when actually I find out that people that really were less, I was less expecting from them to really be with us, really stood for us, and they opened their doors and they let us in. It was my cousin in the first place, and after that it was my aunt that was letting us, me and my mother, to stay there for a while until we find somewhere to live and somewhere to have our stuff. This is where the difficulties start, because I was kicked out from my previous job that I had with my sister. I was working with her, so obviously she stopped working there because of some trouble she made in the job, and after that they decided to stop me from the work also because of my sister. But it's kind of another story that may need to be told in another episode, because about jobs and work experiences in Greece, it's a huge problem here that needs to be discussed like more deeply than that. Anyways, let's get back to our theme. I had two things in my mind that need to be solved. It was to find a house where we should live, and just because I had stopped working, and because I had nothing left in my pocket, I couldn't save any money, because as I mentioned before, I was paying everything and I was giving all my money to my sister to solve all the taxes and all the problems that our house had, which was never ending story, because she was always complaining. Every day she was saying that we need money for that, and I was like thinking that, wait, like I gave money for that, why didn't you go and do this, and why are you telling me the same shit again? But I think mostly I blame myself for not speaking enough, because as far as I understood the ways my sister was working, I stopped believing her. And it was like years and years ago when I first catched her lying in front of my face. I was like, I'm no longer believing you, and doesn't even matter what is gonna happen. You are just someone who says all the lies and has nothing true on her body. So as I said, I had to find a house, and also I had to find a job. With no money, with nothing, I had to start making this kind of moves, which was really difficult because we had no one. I had nobody to talk to. I had nobody to help me solve the problems. We discussed with my friends that if I wanted, I could be living with them for a while until I find something and go to live by my own. But because that I had also my mother, I didn't want to leave her. So I decided that wherever I will be my mother next to me all the time, because everything that she experienced at this point till now, she don't deserve anything like this ever again. So my kind of motivation at this point was to make her life better than it was till now, which was also really pressuring and it was making me feel so stressed because I had to do all that without anything, without nothing, because I didn't have anything at all. I had my friends, my cousin, my aunt, which they were so happy to help me and have me in their house and in their lives, but we knew deep inside that it was not going to be like this for any longer, because everyone has their own way of living. So when you're getting into them and you're becoming part of them, it's kind of disturbing for them, and also you're experiencing some kind of awkwardness because you feel that you don't fit there, which obviously it's true, because you're not supposed to fit in anyone's house or a family. You're just a guest for a while. So I stopped looking for a job. I started to look for a house, and I didn't even wanted to find something like worth living. We were so desperate that we just wanted a roof and walls to get in and to be on our own, where my grandma again and my friends, my best friend Nina came in my life, Nino and Tommy, that helped me a lot to go through the shit, because they helped me with money. They were giving me money because I need to have something to give rent for 3 months, and after that to buy some basic things in the house, because we had nothing, even one spoon or fork or a plate to eat something. We didn't have anything at all, but we managed, thanks to my friends and my relatives, that we have at this point everything that we need to live. So this problem is kind of solved, I would say, but this is kind of devastating as a fact, because I remember when it first started, I was into so much big shock that I remember like my friends really understood that something was going on, something was happening in my life, and I wasn't seeing it. And I wasn't seeing it not because that I was ashamed or any other reason. I couldn't say anything because I was in a full shock, and all that I was saying to them was like, give me a moment, maybe days, because right now at this point I'm experiencing a big shock that I need to go through this. And when I figure all this out, when I finally understood what is happening, what is going on in my mind and in my life right now, I'm going to talk to you and tell you everything that happened. And I think that this day came when I first find this house that I'm in right now. When I felt a relief, when I felt that one part of a big shit was ending or was already finished, that I could already breathe a little, that's maybe when I started to first talk about what had happened to me. And until then, I was, mechanically just moving, doing things that was need to be done. We came to a house where we had nothing, and it was like so dirty and so awful to look at, but it was cheap, and it was also the best choice for us to find and live here. And the thing is, if you can see the house and say that it's okay and it's worth living, it's because of me, because I did everything I could to make it look like this, from starting to clean the furniture to the walls that I painted. I had to do things that I've never thought that I could, because I have never felt the need of doing them. I'm just reminding you that I'm, some kind of, I'm jumping from the details, which were like many details in this situation, from my friends and from the people around me and from my sister, that continued to sabotage us at some point. One day I wake up and I saw that my sister unfriended me from Facebook, and my nephew, my first nephew that was born and was raised with me next to me. I was helping my mother to raise this nephew because my sister could never do any of it, so it was always my mother who grew my nephew. But anyways, I was always next to him, and he decided to block me, or maybe it was the choice that my sister made, or maybe she made him do it. But anyways, the fact is the fact, and the fact was telling me that they no longer want to have a communication with me. That was truly okay for me, because I don't have a problem about myself, because my friend was telling me also the same thing, that I've heard so many things about sisters and brothers and their problems and their fights, and I think that that's something that you can't be waiting from a sister to kick you out, but not a mother which has health difficulties. That's what I cannot really stop thinking about. And whatever happens, I will always remember this, that she have done to my mother, and I'm never going to forget her at any cost. And from that day when she decided to unfriend me on Facebook, for the God's sake, like, who does this? But anyways, I finished everything with her. But the thing is that she hasn't finished anything, and she came to us with a new scenario, and now she's playing with half of my nephew, and she's telling us the stories that he is sick and they are running to doctors and all that. That is well known lie. So I'm not going to forgive her everything that she is making us to go through. So I think that this is the story. This is what happened in New Year's, when I was waiting to spend my New Year so cool and so crazy with my family. I was planning to buy some gifts to them, but everything happens for a reason, and now everyone is telling me, and I myself started to believe that everything is happening for a reason, and maybe this is good that it happened, even that it happened that way. I think I'm starting to find myself again, starting to feel myself. I'm starting to communicate. I'm starting to think clearly now that I'm resting, and all those days that I am living in my new house, all I do is sleep and lie on my bed, because that's what I needed the most, I think. I remember at some point I was so tired that I wanted to cry so much, because I thought that I couldn't handle this, but I did, and I'm kind of proud of myself, and so proud that I showed people around me who never believed me that I'm capable of many things. So it was kind of a win-win that it happened, because it gave me the name that I always wanted to have in my family, because I wanted to be visible to them. I wanted them to look at me and consider me and think that I'm also part of a family, and I can do a lot of things too, which I think that I did, and I'm so glad that it had happened, but those days were really awful. I had my friend always catching me up and telling me that I know that you need it, I know what you have a need to go out and have some fun. And we were going out, having some drinks, and we were dancing, but only God knew what was going in my head. And even though that I was dancing and drinking and doing all that, I was experiencing something so unfamiliar, something so unfair in my life. But I I think that I can do it with a broken heart, as Taylor Swift says. I did it, and I never said that I cannot do that. I didn't even think about it. I knew that I had to do this, and I was doing that automatically. But the thing that I had to pass my holidays outside, this is something that I'm not gonna wish to anybody to happen. Because to feel like this, the way I felt, I don't know if you can handle this. And as I said, you don't know so many details, cause I don't even know where to start. I'm just trying to avoid about thinking about my sister and the fact that what happened in my life. I'm trying to avoid to think about it, and as I'm trying that, I'm kind of forgetting them, or maybe I'm just trying to make myself forget it. I think I have to say, all that I have left to say is a big thank you to people who really helped me and were with me all this time in so much difficult days. People that you choose to have in your life, your friends, your best friends, your relatives. My advice would be to keep them at any cost, because they were only people in my life that really helped me go through all of this. And I'm not even sure if I can ever pay back all that I received from them, and I'm really glad and I'm so proud of these people. So this is it. I think we came to an end of the first episode. It was really hard as a thing to talk about and as a thing to be a start of my podcast, but I hope that I will have some happy things to talk about also. But I think that I made it look less depressing, because as I said, I was avoiding to go through deep of it with the details and all that. But I hope that you had fun listening to me. I hope you to listen to me again. Bye.